This news update is brought to you by
This is the Noon Barbados Today update for Tuesday, September 16th, 2014. I'm Carol Williams. Thanks for joining us. Barbados' legal system is in need of an urgent review, so says House Speaker Michael Carrington, who says the situation needs to be looked at soon, especially in light of a recent occurrence where a man on remand for murder was granted bail and then went on to commit a similar offence. Carrington, a practicing attorney, is fully on board with the views of Chief Justice Sir Marston Gibson for the preliminary inquiry to be abolished. He says the move would eliminate some of the backlog before the law courts.
What is so unique about Barbados that we have this apparent backlog, that we have a situation where people are on remand so long that we have to grant them bail. I am saying, therefore, that we need to look at the system very carefully. To me, it is really something that should not be tolerated any longer. And we as a society, we as government, we as people who are interested in justice, we must put our heads together and look at the system and find out where the problems are and try to correct them ASAP.
Meantime, the fraud squad will probe the financial operations of Executive Rentals Incorporated. Station Sergeant Mark White tells Barbados Today that his squad has begun preliminary investigations following official complaints from the Globe Finance and NASCO Limited regarding motor vehicles that they were looking to repossess but could not locate. More than 100 vehicles have been taken from Executive Rentals by Globe Finance and Simpson Finance in the past weeks. Sergeant White says his squad is also looking into reports relating to loans for vehicles which did not exist. There's a need for greater public-private sector partnerships in Barbados. President of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Tracy Shuffler, says there's no disputing that the private sector is a catalyst to lead the island out of its economic difficulties. However, she says that for that to happen, government must hand over the reins of management of some of its entities, such as the air and seaport, to the private sector.
Greater participation of the private sector in the management of both the airport and the seaport is something that we expect to see more of with time. And quite frankly, like I said, there's already a certain level of participation of the private sector in both of those areas. We understand and agree that areas such as customs and immigration will always have to be, for reasons of national security, owned by the government in those areas. But those are two areas that we expect that there could be more. The services provided for garbage collection, for landscaping, for catering, hospitals, schools, school meals.
Meantime, a local manufacturer wants the Transport Board to put the brakes on plans to purchase new buses overseas. Norman Edwards, the managing director of L&N Workshop, which specializes in building and refurbishing buses, trailers and trucks, says his company is fully equipped to supply the Transport Board with its needs. Edwards, who has already supplied buses for several organizations, including the Water Authority and the Diabetes Association, says the local economy could benefit significantly from the move.
This is what we call having a Bajan by local campaign, and the emphasis should always be employing Bajans like in India. We have no doubt about that. We have no fears on it. So we if given the opportunity, we would execute this project.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.
In Jamaica, mass absenteeism among teachers and students from 2 of the country's private schools due to sickness. At the Yalas Primary School in St. Thomas, 200 students and 25% of the teaching staff stayed away from classes after complaining of flu-like symptoms, accompanied by fever, severe joint pains, and rashes. The nearby Newland Basic School had to close its doors for several days after more than half of its student population and teachers experienced similar symptoms. St. Thomas is among parishes hardest hit by the mosquito-borne chikungunya virus, which carries flu-like symptoms similar to what the teachers and students have been suffering with. Internationally now, thousands flee from their homes in the Philippines as one of the country's most active volcanoes began spewing lava. Officials today began forcibly evacuating villagers living in the areas near the Mount MAYON volcano as scientists raise the threat level to critical. Other residents within an 8-kilometer zone are also being urged to leave as experts warn that the volcano could fully erupt within weeks. And on that note, we end our noon Barbados Today update. We'll be back again at 6 p.m. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or better yet, like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you for the latest news and sports. I'm Carol Williams. Have a wonderful day.
This news update is brought to you by